chemical coordination in the plants. With regards of this, we have discussed about some of the plant hormones like auxins, gibberellins as well as cytokinins. Today we are going to discuss about the two more hormones that are present in the plant body, which are responsible for growth inhibiting, means that they regulate the growth completely. They don't allow the cell elongation as well as the cell division. Completely they stop the growth of the plant. So here, as I told you that plant hormones are 5 are there, but those 5 plant hormones or phytohormones, based on their function, those are categorized into 2: growth promoters as well as the growth inhibitors. Growth promoters means the plant hormones which allow the plant to grow and grow and grow. That is called growth promoters. In this, not only the plant, even the flowers, leaves, fruits, everything will be growing in size, in height, whatever it is. But whereas the growth inhibitors are there, 2 hormones are called growth inhibitors. In this case, these 2 hormones cannot allow do not allow the plant to grow. Means they will be regulating the complete growth of the plant. Those hormones we are going to discuss today. Growth inhibitors. Plant growth inhibitors. Plant growth inhibitors. There are 2 hormones are there like this. That is ethylene and abscisic acid. Abscisic acid. This abscisic acid is also called as ABA. Abscisic acid is also called as AB. So this ethylene, let us learn about these 2 hormones now. Ethylene. The hormones what are presented in the plant body, almost out of 5, the remaining 4, out of 5, the 4 hormones are liquid in state. The only one hormone which is available in the plant in gaseous state, that is ethylene. Ethylene is the hormone which is present in the gaseous state. It is only the hormone in the plants, it's only the hormone, it is present in the form of gas. Okay, and this is ethylene will not allow the plant to grow. It will be always growth inhibitor, suppressing the growth by not allowing the cell to elongate. As I told you that auxins are helpful for elongation of the cell. Means cell will be stretched and the height of the plant will be grown eventually. In the same way, here also this ethylene will not allow the plant to grow by suppressing or by stop the cell elongation. It is a growth inhibitor and it is presented the place where it is produced, that is in the fruits especially. In the fruits it is produced especially, and the work of this hormone is in that fruit only. Actually, we have learned that hormones are producing at one place and their activity will be in another place. That means they will be travel along with from the source to sink. Source means where they are producing, sink means where they are utilizing. But here this plant hormone, that is ethylene, will produce at one place and work also at the same place. It is an exumptional plant hormone. It is a gaseous state completely, first one, and it is produced in the fruit and the work also in the same place, in that fruit only. And most probably the ethylene is useful for ripening of the fruits. Ripening of the fruits, usually raw fruits we see, green mango, and after few days later the green mango will become yellow color mango. That is the ripening of the fruit. Okay, that ripening of the fruit is because of the ethylene, and also the mango plant will be flowered because of the ethylene. This is the major function for the ethylene. And ethylene first discovered by Ghani, a scientist called as Ghani. He has first discovered this in the oranges, the fruit called as oranges. And these oranges are kept along with the bananas, for ripening. So the bananas also ripened along with these oranges. So then he got the doubt, why these bananas also ripened. Only oranges should be ripened, but the bananas also ripened. So that he has worked on that, and he has found that there is a gas producing in the fruits, and that is the gas is nothing but ethylene, which is helping the ripening of fruits. And it is also allow the senescence, aging of the plant, and also it is also allowing the falling of leaves, old leaves, dried leaves. These all will be fall down because of this ethylene as well as the abscisic acid. And come to the next one, abscisic acid. Abscission means a thin layer will be formed between the dried part of the plant and the living part of the plant. So that what happened, like this, let me explain that. Abscission means falling. Abscission means over here falling. The abscisic acid, suppose this is the plant and this is the branch, okay, and this is the sub branch where the leaf is dried up completely. The leaf is dried. So from the plant, the water and minerals will be supplied. Water and minerals will be supplied to this part also. But as this leaf is dried up, it should be fall down. It should be fall down. Why? Because of the dryness of this leaf, the total cells will be become died and become non-living. So this condition, dead condition of this leaf will encourage the living cells also to be died. So that as soon as this leaf is leaf or branch, whatever it is, dried means immediately it should be fall down. So the falling of plant leaves or falling of dried leaves, falling of dried branches is due to abscisic acid. Is due to abscisic acid, ABA. Here what happens? Wherever the dried leaves are dried or branches are dried, suppose this leaf is dried, so immediately the abscisic acid will be produced at this place where this petiole of the leaf is connecting to the branch. There a thin layer will be formed to stop sending of all the living materials, organic materials like water, minerals, salts, everything. When the water and mineral salts are enter there, those will not be useful by this plant because it is already dried. And these cells which are presented here, those are not in function completely. So those will be wasted. So what happened here? This will make the one abscission, Means one thin layer will be formed because of this abscisic acid, and this leaf slowly will fall down and it will be cleared, and when it is fallen down and this abscisic acid will be disappear and auxins will be produced there to produce the new leaf once again. That's why how many times if you cut the leaf, if you pluck the leaf, new leaf will be growing because of the auxins. Auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins will promote the growth. Ethylene and abscisic acid will regulate the growth. That means growth inhibitors. Okay. So the senescence will be encouraged by the abscisic acid as well as the ethylene. And also ethylene is useful for ripening of the fruits. Okay. It is a growth inhibitor. It is ethylene is a very good plant hormone which help the plant to ripen the fruits. And this ethylene is also available artificially in the market, and where the farmers will use that for the ripening of the fruits like banana, mango, these all. That artificial ethylene is nothing but ethaphon. Ethaphon is the artificial ethylene which help the farmers to ripen the fruits artificially. One white color powder will dust on the fruits after keeping in a room. After 5 to 6 days later, those will be ripened. The color will be changed. That is because of the ethaphon. It is artificial ethylene, and ethylene is the natural, and it is in the gaseous state, and this is in the powder state. Okay. This is about the plant hormones. Okay. Let us move to the another topic, that is movement in the plants, plant movements. The animals move from one place to another place for the sake of food, searching of shelter and escaping from the danger. Whereas plants cannot move, but they show the movements. When the seed is germinated, when the seed is germinated, the radicle will be moving downwards direction and the plumule is moving upwards direction. This is the radicle. Radicle gives rise to roots and plumule gives rise to shoot. Shoot moves towards the sunlight. Shoot moves towards the sunlight and the roots moves towards the soil. So these movements are very much compulsory for the plant to live. Roots will move towards the soil, towards the gravity, to absorb the water and mineral salts, and those will be supplied to the plant, upcoming plant or upgrowing plant, and the plant use those all water and minerals to prepare its own food by using the chloroplast in it as well as the sunlight from the sun. For that sunlight, the shoot system will move towards the sun and the root system will move towards the soil for water and minerals. This kind of movements are called trophic movements. Trophic movements. Today our topic is now that is trophic movements. Trophic movements. Trophic. This trophic, the word is taken from the Greek language, and the meaning of this trophic is turn. The meaning of this trophic meaning is turn. That is in the Greek language. Okay. So this trophic movements, the movement toward the sunlight, that is phototropism. There are 4 types of movements, 5 types of movements are there. Let us see. Phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, thigmotropism, chemotropism. These are the 5 movements we can find in the plant body. These 5 movements: phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism, as well as the thigmotropism and also chemotropism. Let us learn about the phototropism. The movement of the shoot, the stem of the plant towards the sunlight. Towards the sunlight. This is called as the phototropism. The movement of the shoot of the plant towards the sunlight is called as phototropism. Why it is moving towards the sunlight? Because it needs the light source for the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process where the sunlight and chlorophyll is used. In the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, plant uses the carbon dioxide and water and prepares the carbohydrates as a food material. This procedure is called as photosynthesis. In this, sunlight plays an important role. So that to get the sunlight, the shoot of the plant will be moving towards the sun. In this case, one small experiment you do at home. Take one bowl of the coconut. After removing that white one, the bowl of the coconut, take it, bowl of the coconut, and fill with red soil loosely. Fill with red soil loosely, sprinkle some water on that. Before making of this one, before day, 24 hours before, you take some mustard seeds. Black color seeds will be there. For fries they will use that. And by keeping the rasam also they will use that. Mustard seeds, black color will be there. Those mustard seeds you take it and put them in the water and leave it for 24 hours. And slowly you might be finding that small plantlets will be growing, coming out of that seeds. And those seeds you take it from the water and put in this soil, in the bowl, and sprinkle some water and leave it for 5 days. Slowly, these will grow some plantlets like this. Like these plants will be grown. Okay, and now after finding this growing of the plants like this, you take this total apparatus. You take this total apparatus, put it in a room nearby the window. Nearby the window, nearby the window, through which the sunlight is penetrates. The sunlight is penetrating, through which the window, nearby the window, you should keep this apparatus and leave it for 3 to 4 days. And after the 4th day, even 5th day also you can see. You see that one, all the shoot system of these plantlets will bend towards the sunlight. Will bend towards the sunlight like this. will bend towards the sunlight. You can find the difference because the sunlight is falling from this side, from the left side of the plants. So they are turn their heads, that means their shoot system is turned towards the sunlight. This is called as phototropism. However, wherever the sunlight is available, the light source is available for the plant towards that direction, the plants will be turned or bend. This is called phototropism because they need sunlight. Why they will bend, how they will bend, that is very important. Okay, why they will bend, I have already told you that. What is the reason? To get the sunlight for photosynthesis, that is the reason. To get the sunlight adequately for conducting the photosynthesis, the plant shoots will be bending towards the sunlight or moving towards the sun. Usually sun is the top of the plant, so it will be moving straight to the front. If it is sidewards, it will be bending. How it is bending? That is also very important. Let me explain that. How this plant is bending. See, suppose this is the, let me draw here. This is the plant. This is the plant, okay. So the sunlight is this side, sunlight is available here, sunlight is available here. So if you make this stem of this plant into two parts like this, the part where the sunlight is falling, this is A. The part where the sunlight is not falling, that is B. You think over, imagine it. To get that situation how it is happening. What is the theory is behind of that bending the plant towards the sunlight. So where the sunlight is falling, that is the side A of the plant, will lose the auxins which are presented in this area, the lateral sides of the plant, where the sunlight is presented. That means the lateral side of the plant which is exposing towards the sunlight, that is A. So the place in this area, the auxins will be stopped, the releasing of auxins will be stopped, so that the growth of this area will be suppressed. So whereas where the sunlight is not falling, not presenting, not penetrating into the another lateral side of the plant, that is B, there the amount of auxins will be increases when compared to the A. So the growth of this area will be increased. The growth of this area, one area is growth is increased, it means automatically other side there is no growth. So this area will be bent towards the sunlight like this, bent towards the sunlight. Here a downwards curvature will be formed because of the lack of auxins. Downwards curvature will be formed because of the lack of auxins. So the plant will be bent towards the sunlight. So this is the reason the auxins play an important role here. Reason, what is the phototropism? And also shoot is always move towards the sunlight, means the movement of the shoot always towards the sunlight, so that it is positively phototropism. The movement of the shoot is positively phototropism, but the movement of the shoot is negatively geotropism, because it won't move downwards direction. Okay. So here two types of movements are there: positive movement, negative movement. Positive movement means the tropic movement towards a particular thing, that is a positive movement. and the tropic movement which is away from the particular thing, that is a negative movement. Okay, and the remaining, that is geotropism, hydrotropism, thigmotropism and chemotropism, will discuss in the next video. Thank you.